Hello, good evening, everybody, and welcome to today's tutorial. My name is Chidi Ebere. In today's tutorial, we will be this is a continuation of our project which we are working on, a ride-sharing application, mobile application, which we are developing with Flutter. And so far, we've created our project in Firebase and also integrated it with our Flutter application, which is located right here. So this is what we've been able to build on our application, and we'll go ahead and start it up here. And while it's loading, we'll go ahead and import some of the packages which we will be needing for this tutorial. So this tutorial will be divided into two sections. One is for the Firebase authentication, and the other one will be for storing our user data, which we are going to capture during the sign up into our Firestore database. So the first one will be our Firebase authentication using email and password. So the first thing we'll do is to go over to pub.dev and grab these packages, Firebase core. I just want to show you where they are. Click on Firebase core, click on installing, copy this Firebase core this, and come over to your application. Go to your pubspec.yaml file and then paste it. Hold on, let me copy it. Copy and then come over to your application under the Cupertino or somewhere else and paste it. Now, the second package which we will be importing is our Firebase Auth. So let's quickly Firebase _ authentication. So this is it. Go to file, click on it. Then why is my internet slow this evening? Click on installing and then copy the dependency. Copy it as fast as possible and then we paste it here. Then the third one we will be importing for this training section is Cloud Firestore. This is a Firebase package for storing data inside our Firestore database. So click on installing and then copy. Then we go over to our application here and we paste. So these three are what we imported, and then click on pub-get. If you are working on VS Code, you can do Flutter pub-get. It's still the same thing. So I'm not going to run this application or this code because I'm already doing it here. So it's getting my packages, these three packages which I specify here. Is going to get it. Firebase core, Firebase authentication, and Cloud Firestore. So it has gotten it, and I want to go ahead and click on it again just to be sure it's imported it. Sometimes you might try to import it and discover that it's not yet downloaded. So you might need to click it 2 or 3 times for those with slow internet. So my app is ready. The one we've created so far, this is the splash screen which we created for this ride sharing app, and after the splash screen is the sign up and login page, one page which we created for our sign up and for our login. So this is it here. So with this done, we'll go ahead, go to your main.dat file. We want to initialize our Firebase app. So if we don't initialize Firebase before we start using some of the services like messaging, authentication, Firestore, you'll get tons of error. Your app will not be able to compile. So the first thing you need to do is to is to initialize your Firebase. So before now, you will have something like this. So go ahead and add the async keyword here. This is because we want to make an asynchronous call to Firebase before the initialization. So Firebase, if you don't have it yet, if you don't have something like this, or if it's showing you error, then try and import Firebase. Okay, it's going to give me an error here. So I put my cursor here, this balloon icon comes out, it says import this. So I import this, and then now I can continue. It's giving me the initialize app I was looking for. So with this, you can be able to initialize your app, but I want it to print something on the console to show me that yes, this Firebase initialization has completed successfully. So I go ahead with this, it will still work, but I still want to extend it by adding then print. I want it to, I come down to this place. I want it to print Firebase initialization completed. So this is what is going to print for me once it has been initialized. So the next thing I want to do is to go over to my login sign up page. It's a one page which we created our login and our sign up in. So for this now, we want to create a method which we will call for us to be able to register our email address and password on Firebase for authentication, as well as the method which we will be using to check whether our email and password exist in Firebase. If yes, then it will log us in. So the first thing we will do is to come over down. You can do your own at the top. You can put your own at the top. You can put your own below. So these are some of the class which we initialized or which we created. Sorry, some of the widgets which we created. These are the widgets for all this we have here. So the first thing we will do here is to initialize our Firebase Auth authentication. So we do final Firebase Auth. Here it is. If you are getting an error, just like as I'm getting, import the Firebase Auth package. Okay, I'm not seeing it. Let me see if I can import it here. Import. Why is it not showing? Okay. Okay, here it is. Firebase Auth. So I've imported it, and this error will now stop. So our Firebase Auth, we want to create an instance of our Firebase Auth, because we can't use this Firebase Auth keyword directly in our code. So we need to create an instance of it for us to use. So I call it Auth, and then I initialize it as Firebase Auth dot instance. So this is it here. So with this initialize, we can go ahead and create our register and login method. So I do void register, and this will be an asynchronous call because we have to wait for Firebase to check the services we are calling and to return a value to us. So I'm going to make use of this Firebase, this user that I'm writing here. It used to be Firebase user, but it was changed in the later version of this package to user only. So I create an instance of this Firebase user, which is also from Firebase core, or is it Firebase core or Firebase Auth? Let's see. Okay, it's Firebase Auth, not core. So what we want to do here is to try to create a new user on our Firebase authentication using email and password. Using email and password. Don't forget, we've enabled email and password in our previous tutorial in Firebase. So we'll go ahead and use this to make, close it out here. We are going to make an asynchronous call. Let me delete this first. So we do email, or sorry, we do await. We want to wait for a response from Firebase, use the instance of the authentication which we created, and do create user with email and password. So it will give me this. So the email, the data which we will pass to this will be gotten from our email test field here, and the password will be gotten for our password test field. So I've gone ahead to create a controller which stores our email and password here, and this controller is assigned to this and to this, which we will all see in our previous tutorial. So I'm going to go ahead and do email controller, okay, dot. I want to get the test in the email controller, and I want to trim it so that to eliminate space. Okay, I will do password controller dot test dot trim so as to remove any space which might cause error for us. So I will go ahead and tell it to catch any error. If it detects any error, let me bring it down here so that you can see it. Once it detects any error, on error which we want to tag error message is what it will return. We want to handle this. So what do? We print the error. We don't want to do any big stuff with it. We only want to print the error, and then after printing the error, what do we want to do? We go ahead and say dot. What am I missing? Okay, let's see what I'm missing. Okay, this is where we close this here. Then we say dot user. So we want to get an instance of this user here. We want to use this to get to create a new user using password and email here. So why is this showing me an error? Okay, so with this now we've created, we've tried to create a new user which will return a value which is user ID for us. So we'll now go ahead to check if the user has been created. If user, which is the user which we define here, is not empty, if we check and the user is not empty, the value of the user is not empty, then we want to print user created successfully. We'll still navigate to our login page after this. Okay, let's okay, we'll do that successfully. Then let me see what I did here for this to, oh, it signed up true. So I'll say I'll do set state is sign up page. I will do false. that means it will show us the login screen here, and it will print this message for us, and quickly go to this login screen, this login here, so that we can see. So the next thing we will do is to what we want to display if the user sign up didn't work out. So we'll say print user no, let's just print the error message. So the error message it will capture here. We want to print it out so that we can be able to see it. So I will say print error message. Yes, it's supposed to print error message. Okay, it has already been cached here. So what we want to do is just to print user not created, user account creation failed. So with this now, we are good to go. Now we've created our register here. Now let's quickly create our login, the method for our login here. So we'll go ahead and create a void method and call it login, and then async method, and then we do final, just like we did in the other side. We call user, then we try to create this new user, await the instance of Firebase Auth which we created. Now instead of doing create, we do sign in with email and password here. So sign in with email and password. So we call our email controller dot, we want to get the text and want to trim it in case we mistakenly press space, and then we trim here. So with this done here, the next thing which we want to do is to catch any error that might occur. That dot catch. So if there is any error, if any error occurs, just catch it here, store the error message in this error message here, and then we print the error message so that we'll be able to, I'll show you why we need to print this error message, so we'll know what is the problem. So we'll come to this other side and do dot user and close it up. So we check if user is not empty, then print login successful, else print login failed. So for now, we want to print to our console. In the later part of the tutorial, we are going to, once we are able to log in, we will automatically go to our home page or our dashboard or whatever page we define here for our application. So with this done, I might need to stop this application because of this initialization which I added here for it to be able to initialize Firebase well. So I will need to stop it and run it again. So while this is loading, I'm going to quickly explain some few things which might happen, and you will get errors when you try to create a user or to log in. So Firebase allows a minimum of 6 characters for password, and your email, the email address which you are putting in must be valid. it must have the valid format for email. So with that said, let's go over to this place. So this is where we enabled our email and password authentication. If you look at the sign-in method here, right now we don't have any user who has signed up. And this is what we enabled. We enabled for email and password only. For now, we are doing email and password. You can, if you want to add phone number authentication, Gmail, and the rest of them, you can still add other providers if you're enabling multiple sign up and login for your application. So we are going to give it some time to compile and before it starts running. And what other things do I need to talk about here? So basically, we can extend this app for us to verify email address, to verify the email address before we actually register the user, the email address. But for now, we are not verifying the email address. We are just, anything the user gives us, we will not verify it. We will just store it like that. In our other next tutorial, we will be looking at how to verify email address. But for now, we keep it short, simple, and straight to the point by doing this. So, okay, our app has started here. And I want you to see something. So it threw up some errors for us, and Firebase, I don't think it's initialized. I don't think it's initialized. Okay, let's see what the error is. Okay, let's quickly see what this error is by copying it, this one now, the first error which we got, and then looking for it over here. Okay, so this was one of the things I'm supposed to have done, which I didn't do. So we go back to our app. Sorry, I missed that. And then, so it ensures the initialization before it runs. So we try to restart it again. So it works. So this, we should have put this particular stuff here. So this now, Firebase initialization complete. It's what we printed here for us to know that it has initialized. So we will go ahead now and put our username. I'll put my abbreviation of my name and then my phone number. Don't worry, this is not my real phone number. And my email, CHIDI at g.com. So see what I want to show you here. Now for Firebase, if I go ahead and put 1, 2, 3, 4, let's just use 4 characters for our password and try to, oh, sorry, we've not tied this to the sign up, the login and function, these two methods, we've not assigned it to our button. So let's quickly do that. This is our sign up button here. And then this is our, what we want to call. So don't forget we have something we did here. If it's sign up page, then it's true. And if it's not sign up page, then that means it's login. So let's quickly go back to our button here and say sign up page. If it's true, then we want to return register. But if it's false, then we want to call this login method. So this is how we are going to put it, and we refresh. So right now it has taken it has been implemented. So we go ahead and click on our sign up. So see what it says here. Remember the error message which we told it to print? No network security, blah blah blah. So this is the error message. Okay, let's add something for us to know that, yeah, this is our error message. Let's add something here. We put this in here. We put this, or sorry, we just put this and then put this just to make it so I will say our error message. So for us to know that this is actually the error message which we got, and we will now copy this as well and replicate it in our login where we print. So we put it here. This is it here, our error message. So we'll go ahead now and reload it and try to sign up again. So you see, this is it. It's telling us password should be at least 6 characters. So this is the error which it returned. So let's go ahead and complete it. 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I try to do it again. It's created successfully. User created successfully. So let's verify if our user has been created by going to users and let's refresh it. Is this the app? Is this one, or which one is it? Sorry, let me see. Sorry, I have 2 accounts. I can't remember the one I used for it. Uh, Let me see. Let me log into my Firebase. So this is our Reflex app. So we go to our authentication. Okay, sorry. So this is the one I used for it. So it has created this user for us in our Firebase here, and you can see it's created today, and this is my user ID. So when I try to log in, what I'm actually looking for is this user ID, if it exists. If it exists, then we'll get. So let's go ahead and modify our login. We told it that once it has signed up, it should go to login. So let's try to log in and see what will happen here. So we try to log in. I have to click here so that this button will change to login. I didn't capture that before. So we try to log in. What happens? It says login successful. So this is where we'll stop for this tutorial. In our next tutorial, we will be looking at how to integrate it to to our Firestore, as well as how to retrieve data from our Firestore. So let me quickly push this to GitHub. Let's quickly push it. Okay, I will do that later. So this is the end of this tutorial. Thank you.